So right now I'm going to be showing you how to replace the sway bar linkage just here under the car. Now a lot of people do take their sway bars out. I like to leave mine in. I'll show you that in a minute and I'll show you where it is. Now I've picked these ones up. They're a DriveTech 4x4 component. They come with the rubber, the nut, the bush, everything that you need to replace it. So let's get under the car. I'll show you why I'm going to replace it and I'll explain why they're good to have on the car. So this right here is the link that I'm going to be replacing. Now I know that this rubber here is flogged out and you can see that by the movement there. And you can hear the rattle. Also up here the joint there is wobbly. So that's why I need to replace it. That allows movement. Now you can see here that I have the extension drop bar. Now that's important to have if you have a lift. It keeps your sway bar flat, allowing for the flex. If you don't have this drop, this whole arm actually sits up here, up about this height, and it's got constant flex pulling on your wheels, and you lose your flex, which I had before I put the drop extension in. Now, the reason that you want your sway bar in, and a lot of people will remove the sway bar, is it runs here right round and then up over the other side there. So when one wheel going around a roundabout lifts up, you'll get pressure put on this side, which pulls on the other side and flattens out your car as you're doing it. So your car will ride through the roundabout and it will pressure on one side and pull on the other, and instead of letting your car roll over like this, and you'll see a lot of four-wheel drives do it on the roundabout, and you know they've got their sway bars removed, it'll roll right over. It does allow for a lot of flex in your wheels when you're off-road, but on the road it gives you a not so great ride. So I like to keep mine in. Use the drop bar link. You're still going to get a lot of that flex that you're chasing. My car flexes insanely now as it is with the 2-inch lift and the drop bars. So let's get into replacing this little linkage here. So I'm using 14mm to get on it, and it's a bit tricky because of the bar there. I can't get it on that side. So now for the top, a 19. This is not a very big job to do. It's quite easy. You can use the hammer, loosen that screw through. Now you can see that wobbles. So the rubber's stuffed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it, craft knife, and cut around the metal ring in the middle of it. Make sure you don't cut your hand off doing this. Cut that ring off that holds it, retainer, and then that just pops out like that. Okay, so what I have here is a little thing that I've made up. So I've got a big washer that'll go into my bolt that fits the end of my rubbers. So that'll go through, and then I've got a washer or a bit of steel that can go on the end here, which will screw up, and it will pull the rubber in. Now the rubber's not quite all the way through, So I'm going to use my vise, I'm going to use my G-clamp, try and pull it that last little bit through like that. There we go. Now it's popped in on both sides. Make sure it's pointing out. Now it's all come with nice new nuts and bolts, so I'm going to use all of them. And it has a split pin, so in goes the split pin. That's just to help stop it coming apart. Now what we do, and this could be a bit of a challenge, because now it's all stiff and firm. Back up and in. Then we tighten that one back up. Now I cheated a little bit to get the other one off, and I could just hold it there, but it actually has a Allen key. I'm trying to do this backwards here, which goes in like that, so that you can hold it still while you tighten the nut up. If you don't use the Allen key, the ball joint will just turn. It's probably easier if you do it from the side that the camera's on. I'm doing it this side so that you can see what I'm doing. And there you go, changed. Now to do the other side, I like to do them in pairs. Well, there you have it, there's one side changed, and as you can see the rubber boot's completely stuffed, and inside there it's in not real good shape. The thing's loose as anything, it rattles around, it's going to be causing rattles and vibrations in the car and possibly some stability issues. That's one side done. I'm going to do the other side now. It's best to do them, I like to do them in pairs anyway, keep the same sort of friction on the same side of the car. Don't forget about the little Allen key hole in the end, also useful when screwing it off. As I mentioned, I cheated a bit and just held friction on it so that I could unscrew it, and I was lucky. Otherwise I would have had to have used the Allen key. And the little nut and bolt trick that I used to get that was cool, to get the rubber in, and that's the old one, it's flogged out. Keep an eye on it. As I said, I like to have my sway bars in. Some people get rid of them, but it keeps it flat, and the car will sit a lot flatter while driving on the road. Check out my other videos, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and have fun on YouTube and out in the bush for all driving.